Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today I am bringing you my May wrap-up. May was finally the month that busted my reading slump. Thank the book gods that I finally decided to read again, because now I'm in full swing and there's a ton of things that are on my bookshelf and I've been cranking out reading left and right. This is going to be a super brief wrap-up. This is my first wrap-up of the year, also in May. I filmed the January wrap-up before I went into major slump mode, and I don't even know where that footage is. Because I remember talking about Jade City, my favorite book of the year, at length in that video, so I still owe you a review of this book. But anyways, this is about May, and finally busting through that reading slump wall. I finished 8 books in the month of May, 4 of them being Harry Potter books, the other 4 being the books that I'm going to talk to you about right now. The first books that I picked up that weren't Harry Potter were books 2 and 3 of the Grisha trilogy, being Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising. As a whole, my thoughts on the entire Grisha trilogy are that it was good. I am currently reading the Six of Crows duology, and I feel like that one's better. So that's pretty much what you need to know about my thoughts of this trilogy. I enjoyed Siege and Storm the most. Ruin and Rising, I feel like the ending just wrapped up a little too neatly for me. With how complicated and complex Alina's life was and Alina's love life was, I feel like Ruin and Rising didn't give me much. The big surprise was definitely meeting Nikolai, and Nikolai has skyrocketed to become one of my favorite characters this year. Everything out of his mouth was just great. That could also be why Siege and Storm was my favorite of the two, because we definitely get more Nikolai out of this one than we did this one. I'm just gonna say it, I enjoyed Nikolai more than the Darkling, but I kind of wish I had more Darkling energy throughout the whole trilogy. I feel like you get the most out of the Darkling and what he's about in Shadow and Bone, and there just weren't enough scenes of him for me to totally become his fan through the whole trilogy. It was enjoyable nevertheless. It was a good, fun, young adult ride. I gave both of these 4 out of 5 stars. Like I said, I started reading the Six of Crows duology, and I think that's better. It's clear that there was growth, which makes me really excited to keep going with more of Leigh Bardugo's work, especially in this whole Grisha universe. From my book haul, you saw that I ended up picking up King of Scars because I wanted more Nikolai. That one will hopefully give me more Nikolai. The next book that I picked up was completely I just need to read something that's not fantasy. It was a test for myself to see if I really was out of this slump. Because if I could get through something that wasn't fantasy, then I feel I was yes, slump is over. So this is In the Woods, written by Tana French. This is book number 1 of the Dublin Murder Squad series, and it follows 2 detectives that are part of the elite Dublin Murder Squad. We're following a man named Detective Ryan as he works through this case, and the thing that's interesting about this case is he was a missing child when he was a young boy, and he ended up being the found one out of this missing child's case, and it's been a part of his past. It's a haunting part of his past that he just has basically locked away, put the key on that, and just doesn't want to revisit, and literally can't even revisit it until when he's on the murder squad with his partner, Detective Maddox. There ends up being a young girl who has been murdered in the same exact woods that he went missing in all those years ago as a child. It follows the 2 of them as they're piecing together their detective work, their police work. It's a slow detective thriller story. So if you are someone that likes more of the get to the action quicker, this might not be the series for you based on what I have experienced from this first book. But I enjoy that. I enjoy putting the pieces together over time versus a quick hook, quick action, thriller, gotcha situation. Rachel from Shades of Orange is one of the big reasons why I picked up this book. She had been asking me about what did you think of the ending, because the ending, this book apparently among Tana French fans is one of her more polarizing works, which is also interesting because this is her debut. The ending and what I thought of it was I also didn't like the ending very much, but I liked Tana French's writing and the character of Detective Maddox a lot, and Detective Maddox is featured in the second book in this series called The Likeness, and so I would like to read that one very soon. Like, even though I really didn't like the ending of this one, because I just didn't care for Detective Ryan. It's not like I hated him outright, but I just didn't care for him. Some of the choices that he makes, you're just like, man, why are we following you? So I would like to follow more along with Detective Maddox in book number 2. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This is definitely like the kind of pace that I like amongst a detective story. So if you like something that's a little bit more slow to the action, then try this one out. It also, I've been covering it up, but not on purpose. It also has been the inspiration for a series on Starz called Dublin Murders. And now that I've finished this book, I actually do want to go and watch season 1 and see if I like watching it on screen. Yeah, because I have a Starz subscription, basically because of Outlander. Okay, and then I picked up Saga book number 2. This is written by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. This actually follows Saga volumes 4, 5, and 6. So I have book number 1 that I already read actually a couple years ago now. That's volumes 1, 2, and 3. And then book number 3 is actually out, and they have like the Saga Compendium, which is all 9 volumes. This is a science fiction graphic novel following 2 characters who are part of 2 different alien races, and the planet and the moon that they reside on are at war with one another. But our 2 main characters found one another, fell in love, found each other, had a child. And then the fact that they had a child has like put a lot of things into turmoil, because basically everybody is that's been a part of this war for so long, this child shouldn't exist to them. Hazel is our young daughter character in the front picking her nose. How old would I think? She's like a toddler, and then she goes through like school age within these installments. I liked volume 4 more than the other 2, and so at the end of the day I did rate this 3 out of 5 stars because my enjoyment for it just didn't hold like a candle to book number 1 and volumes 1 through 3. Volumes 1 through 3 I felt like I really enjoyed the love story aspect of it. This action in here I felt like just like took a little bit of a departure with all of the side character action that we got in this. So it'll be interesting to see what I think about it when I pick up book number 3 and the other 3 volumes, but it's like not a high priority for me to do so. But yeah, 3 out of 5 stars, so it was just like middle of the road for me. And then I also started On the Way of Kings, and I'm still working on that one. I'm very close to finishing. I think I'm like just over 800 pages in. There's still a ways to go, but I am very close to finishing that book, so I'm very pumped for that. So you'll see that in my June wrap-up. Again, very excited that May finally was the month that I could like get back into reading. It's like a 4-star, 3-star month. I wasn't anticipating any of these really like blowing me out of the water, but that's okay. Because like I said, some of the books that I've been reading for June have been top tier. Let me know what you think of the books. What do you think of my ratings? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram if you want to follow me on there. It's at whatcassread, so it's the same as this channel. It's super easy to find. And my Goodreads account, that is always linked down below. Other than that, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.